I've joined Ibrahim on the touch screen right now to update us on what you already know, which is that the Black Stars are now ready to join the 10. They only have to be sure they don't play Senegal and a few other countries, and then we should be fine. We'll be in the World Cup, Qatar 2022, December 2022, and welcoming into the studio right now is our friends from Adisadel. They'll be shaking it down for us here in the studio at Disco 97. They are coming into the studio right now. They are here, and we'll be dealing with it. As many of them can come into the studio. When we're singing the anthem, we need voices, don't we? Ibrahim, get us onto the touch screen. Right, where are we?
The much-awaited verdict came last Friday, and so this was the letter that FIFA sent to the GFA to declare that the protest, which was lodged by South Africa on 15th November 2021, was inadmissible. So they declared the protest inadmissible, which means that the protest was not successful. And also said that the decision had 10 days for, they didn't give them the main reasons why they took that decision. So if you were not happy with that decision, then you have within 10 days to ask for a full verdict, and then if you want to appeal, then you can appeal. So they didn't give the main verdict, the reason why they got there, but our research showed that they used the Article 46 of FIFA's disciplinary code and also Article 14 of the preliminary regulations for the FIFA World Cup qualifiers to reach their decision. And so we are going to go into that. So the FIFA Disciplinary Code 2019 edition, they used the Act 46 to reach that verdict. And if you look at the Act 46, the clause 1 says associations and their clubs are entitled to lodge protests. Protests must reach the disciplinary committee in writing, indicating the relevant grounds within 24 hours of the end of the match. And you remember that the GFA, their response to FIFA, made this point that the South Africa Football Association didn't send their protest on time. It was outside the 24-hour rule that FIFA had set here, and that is part of the grounds that FIFA ruled on the matter for South Africa. You look at clause 2, and it says that the 24-hour time limit cannot be extended for the sake of the smooth running of the competition. So it means South Africa didn't really go by the 24-hour time. Also, you look at clause 3, the protest fee is this one, the South Africans paid it, and so as the protest wasn't successful, now they are not going to be refunded the protest fee again, which is that. But you look at clause 4, and clause 4 talks about when a process is admissible, because FIFA said that process was not admissible. Okay. So FIFA, if you look at clause 4, it gives basis on which a protest is not admissible. A protest can be admissible. Okay. And A is if there's an ineligible player participating in a match as a consequence of the player not fulfilling the conditions defined in the relevant FIFA regulations. And this does not apply here because So this will make a protest admissible? Yes, this will make a protest admissible. And they were not protesting against any of our players? They were not protesting against any of the players. And B, an unfit field of play, as long as the referee was informed as soon as the problem was. This is also not in play over here because they were not protesting about the field. So you come to see an obvious error by the referee as defined in Article 9 of this code, in which case the protest may be directed only at the disciplinary consequence of the referee's obvious error. So this falls in what South Africa were looking to protect again. They were saying that the referee, in fact, they were not saying that the referee had made an error. They were accusing that the referee manipulated the game, and they were suspecting bribery and all that. And even in this case, if FIFA was to stand on this case and take the protest to be admissible, it wouldn't have called for a replay, but it's only a disciplinary action that would have been called against the referee. Against the referee's career. Yes, for an obvious error. But a replay wouldn't have been called in this instance. Also, they used the regulations which were governing the this qualification round to also reach their verdict. And in the regulation, they used Article 14. You look at Article 14 also talks the same thing about the protest has to be 24 hours. So for the purpose of this regulation, protests are objections or protests and objections of any kind related to events or matters that have direct effect on matches organized in the preliminary competition of the FIFA World Cup, including but not limited to this state of the markings on the pitch accessory. So these are just these things that the 14 talks about. Unless otherwise stipulated in this article, protest shall be submitted in writing to the FIFA match commissioner. So GFA also in their response made allusion to this one, that the SAFA didn't make their protest in writing to the match commissioner. They only made it orally to the match commissioner. And the match commissioner also stated in his report that he wasn't giving any protest in writing. So FIFA also stood by this to reach their verdict. Also, so you look at the 6, and they say no protest may be made about the referee's decision regarding facts connected with play. So this clause tells us that no protest will be made regarding to a decision that the referee has taken on the pitch. If you make any decision, the decision that the referee makes on the pitch is final. Such decisions are final and not subject to appeal unless otherwise stipulated in the FIFA disciplinary code. The same applies for any potential issue concerning the issue of goal line technology and the VAR. So in this issue like this, it really makes bad of the South African case, because if you look at the clause 6 of the article 14 of the FIFA regulation for the competition, it says that no protest will be made against a decision of the referee. The decision that the referee makes on the pitch is final. If FIFA reviews the decision and finds out that it was an error, they will probably only punish the referee. But
the outcome of the game will not be changed.
The outcome of the game will not be changed. The decision is final. Even if it is with VAR, if it makes error with VAR or even goal line technology, the decision is final. So that's where we are at the moment. But the South Africans, so if an unfounded or irresponsible protest is lodged, the FIFA disciplinary committee may impose a fine. At the moment, they've not imposed any fine. Some people are saying that the GFA should go ahead and ask for a fine to be imposed, but that has not been done yet. But
so what happens now? Where does Ghana go from here?
So now with indications that the South Africans have said that they are going to ask for the full report of what FIFA did, and then they will consider whether they will appeal the decision or not. So the steps that they have at the moment is that they can appeal it at FIFA, and if they are not successful with FIFA, then they can go to the Court of Arbitration for Sports for final.
When is the draw?
The draw is supposed to be in January, when the African Cup of Nations is going on in Cameroon.
The draw is in Cameroon?
Yes, it's in Cameroon.
It's occurring in Cameroon?
In Cameroon.
Before the Cup of Nations starts?
Yes, it was supposed to be this month, but it was postponed in the last CAF Congress to January.
So January will be the draw of the last draw?
Yes, that will be the draw for the playoffs. So when the African Cup of Nations...
So as it is now, if nothing is happening, or even if South Africa file an appeal, will that stop the process? Will that impair the process of the draw? Will that stop the draw?
No, I don't think it will stop. So
as of now, the draw will occur?
As of now, the draw will happen.
With Ghana involved?
With Ghana involved.
And the games are to be played when?
The games,
the two-legged games.
The two-legged games, they are supposed to be played in March.
Okay.
March next year. That's after the African Cup of Nations.
So from the beginning to the end of March, we'll know. We'll sort it out.
We'll have.
When is the World Cup draw?
The World Cup draw. The World Cup draw will be after all the matches are sorted out. All the matches, both Europe and Africa, will be done in March. So we are expecting the World Cup draw to be in June, July, because the World Cup will be in November.
December.
Yes.
Yeah, I see.
Yes.
Okay, so we are good to go. Is that not so?
Yes, please.
And then we have an AFCON as well.
Yes, AFCON in January.
Okay, that sounds interesting. So we are going to be drawn among one of the 10.
Yes.
All right.
So at the moment, the draw was supposed to be happening this month, and it was postponed. So when we were doing our permutations, Ghana was part of the other 5 who were not in the top 5.
And we are still there?
Yes, we are still there. But if the FIFA rankings, if any miracle happens, the FIFA rankings for this month comes out and Ghana goes into the top 5, then Ghana will now be paired against the other 5. But if you look at the rankings, it's not likely Ghana will go into, because Ghana is 7th.
Where we are.
Yes, Ghana is 7th.
Which makes us avoid who? Egypt?
Egypt is in the same league with us.
So we avoid them?
Yes, we avoid them.
I see.
Avoid them.